how to get in-person work experience. Okay, so there are 3 methods for getting in-person work experience. In this video, I'm going to explain those 3 methods. I'm going to explain like the positives and negatives of each one. So basically you can use as many as you like. You can use all 3, you can use like just one, which sounds good to you. But on top of that, I'm not just going to say what the method is. I'm going to give you actionable steps, tell you exactly what to do to actually carry this out and get that in-person work experience. With the actionable steps I'm going to give you in this video, literally at the end of this video, you can start your journey and start like getting this in-person work experience immediately after this video. If you get any value from this video, put a like down below, and without further ado, let me get into the first method of getting in-person work experience. Okay, so the first method is applying to official programs, and this is going to be the method which requires the least effort, okay, which is why I'm starting with it. And it's also going to get you some of the biggest companies out there. Okay, so chances are some of the biggest companies are going to do this sort of thing. They're going to do official programs. So that's basically where on their website, they're going to display like, we are doing this work experience. These are the dates, apply. That's why it's the least effort, because they do all the work for you. They've set up a location, they've set up a date, they've set up a website. All you have to do is go on and press apply. It means with this one, you're going to be able to access big companies. For example, JLR, KPMG, PwC. In the past, they've done official programs like this one. This is the first way of doing it. There are a couple of disadvantages of this, however, which is why I think it's important to stick around for steps 2 and 3, because I think, to be honest, steps 2 and 3 are probably going to be the best way of getting it in 2024, 2025, the way things are going. So the disadvantages with this is, the first one is they usually have like really specific eligibility criteria, okay? It's just how things are in 2024. They don't allow everyone to do work experience. They don't like just leave it open to all. There's like specific criteria that you have to meet. If you like go onto these work experience, you might like be really excited. You'll be like, oh, this company's doing work experience. You scroll onto eligibility and you have to like live here, you have to do this, you have to have this, and like you have to be this and whatever. And it basically means half the people can't even get their work experience. Okay, so that's one of the big problems with official programs, which is why like you can't rely on it. And the other thing is, even if you are eligible, even if, forget the eligibility criteria, if like you're lucky enough to be eligible for the work experience, these are going to be very competitive. Like, especially to these big companies like PwC, like KPMG, like JLR, these work experience are going to be extremely competitive because so many people are applying. Because they are an official program that's being advertised on their website, there's loads of people applying. Like, some of them you have to go through full application processes, which are almost as detailed as like the degree apprenticeship application process. So the problem is, you could, even if you are eligible, you can end up applying and you don't even get it. So it's not something I'd rely on solely, which is why there's methods 2 and 3. But just to finish off with this official program one, what is the actionable step you need to do? Think of the biggest companies in the industry you're interested in, okay? So whether that be technology, engineering, like making cars, like JLR, Bentley, Ford, whatever. Think of the biggest companies in your industry that you're interested in, finance, so like KPMG, PwC, HSBC, Bank of England, all that sort of thing. What you do is literally go onto Google, company name, HSBC, and then you put in work experience. It is as simple as that. This one's really easy. All you have to do is just put the company name, search work experience, and if they have it, it'll be one of the first couple of results. It'll be like HSBC, work experience, placement, apply here, here are the details, okay? This is something that I'd recommend doing like every month, every couple of months. If there's like a company you're really interested in, right? Like there's, I don't know, PwC you're really interested in. They probably don't have like their 1 week work experience or whatever available right now, but they potentially maybe be doing it in a couple of months. So it's just a case of go through the companies, Google the company name, Google work experience next to it, and see what's available, and just check that every so often to see if like a new one's come up. That is how you do official programs, official company programs to work experience. Now let's move on to the next methods, which are better, starting with cold email. If companies don't do official programs, then the only way you're going to be able to access them is cold email. That's obvious, right? If they have an official work experience program, you can apply to it. If they don't, you're going to just have to ask them directly, can I do work experience with you? That's what this cold email approach is about. It's basically where you identify some companies you're interested in, and then you send them an email asking, can I get work experience with you? And then you get a response, and then you've got work experience, okay? So let me tell you how to optimize this strategy, okay? So for this, I would recommend focusing on small to medium companies who are local to you, okay? Because usually, and this is like the general way it works, really big companies will have official programs, okay? So like they'll be the ones who you just have to Google KPMG work experience and they'll turn up. Therefore, if you email them, like cold email them specifically, they're just going to like direct you, they're going to funnel you to their like official work experience program. So usually it doesn't work on big, like you're not going to suddenly email like Google and say, can I get work experience at Google? And they reply, yep, here's your like plane ticket to Silicon. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to how it works. If that's worked for you, if you've emailed a big company and they said yes, and you went and did a work experience with like some multi-million-pound company, put it in the comments below, I want to hear. But basically, in general, you want to focus this on small to medium companies. So maybe like companies that literally just have one location, and that's it. Or maybe they have a couple of locations like in your local vicinity. So an example of some of the ones I did this cold email strategy to was there was an engineering company just based in like one town near me. There was also another engineering like company which just had a couple of factories within like one of the cities near me, right? And those were the sort of things I was cold emailing, not some multinational corporation, just something that probably nobody's like outside your area would have even heard of anyway. Those are the people you want to be targeting. So all you have to do is just send an email to some of these small to medium companies and then see if they get back to you. Negatives of this. So this is fairly time consuming compared to just like the official programs where you just click apply. This one you have to write an email and like see how they respond and all that sort of thing. However, I can make that a bit easier for you. I've got like a structure on how to write and also a template. We'll go through that in a second. Another negative is the success rate isn't always great, okay? And that is because these small to medium companies, what comes with being small to medium is that they don't have as many capabilities for like having work experience students. Whereas like some massive company who has 10,000 employees, they're gonna have systems in place to do work experience. If it's some like local company that has 12 employees, maybe they might not be set up to do work experience, okay? So it's like for me, I emailed 3 companies doing cold emails and one of them was able to do it. The other 2 replied and said they didn't have like the capabilities in place to do that. So it's like, it's a bit hit or miss this one, but I think it's no worse than official programs. Because official programs, it's probably the same. You have like loads of people applying, only some people can get it. As I said, it's really competitive. Could be about a third success rate, quarter success rate at the same. So it's like, there's no difference actually there between success rate, between official programs and cold email. And the final thing is like you are going to get smaller companies. So if you did want like a really big name on your CV, as I said, like Google, KPMG, PwC or whatever, you're not going to be able to get it through cold email. You'd need to do the official programs for that. But this is also a positive because it means you're going to access companies which no other applicants have got, okay? Because what you need to do in the application process for a degree apprenticeship is stand out. You need to be the person they remember when they're filling in their roles. So say they've had like 10 candidates and there's 3 roles, you need to be the first 3 people that comes to mind. Because if you're not memorable, if they don't remember you, by the time they get to you, they'll be like, oh, the 3 spaces are already full. Okay, you need to be the first person they remember when they're thinking, okay, who should we hire? Oh, that guy. The guy who had this work experience from this like really like obscure engineering company who did this very specific thing I never even heard of, but it's like they did this one like engine part and it's the only one in the UK that does this engine part. It doesn't have to be big. There's an advantage there of doing small companies. Now let me get into the email on what actually you need to do in here. This is your actual step basically. Find the company, get their email. I'm going to explain how to write this email. You need to explain 4 things. Number 1, what do you want? Simply just put, I'm looking to apply for like a work experience at your company. Number 2, why do you want it? Just say like you want it because you want to find out more about the industry, you want to improve yourself, this is my goal and this will help me get there, okay? Just makes you seem like a real human being rather than someone who's like, I want work experience because my school told me I have to do 1 week work experience, right? Next one is knowledge of the company. So this is where you do a paragraph basically saying what you know about their company, okay? Because with work experience, how it works is companies either want to hire you or they at least just want to have a pleasant time. Okay, think about it. They don't want to hire some like have some work experience person at their office or factory for a week who's not nice to be around, who's like obnoxious, right? Or even someone who just doesn't care. Like they have a really poor attitude and they're literally there because they have to be because their school told them to be. They don't want that because it's just not fun for them, right? Compared to if they have a work experience student who's really interested, he's asking questions, he's just nice to be around, it's at least a pleasant experience for them. So this is where this bit comes in of like knowledge of their company. If you've done knowledge of their company, it shows that you're actually a genuinely interested person and like you're not just doing it for the sake of it. And it basically makes you look more of a nice person. You just seem like a person who they kind of want to be around. If you just send them an email and you like don't even put capital letters and you're like, give me work experience, they're not going to give you work experience because you seem like an obnoxious person, right? You seem like someone they don't want to spend time with. They would rather just not have you. Okay? If you say, oh, I researched your company and I found out this, I thought this was really interesting, and I'm doing this and I was inspired by like the work you did on this certain thing, they'll be like, oh, this guy's actually kind of pleasant. He's going to come here. He's going to ask questions. He's going to have a good attitude. He's like, I'm not going to hate my life when I have this work experience student coming around. So that's the key of that paragraph, is just show your genuine interest and show you're a nice human being, basically. Finally, again, this is similar to this one, just show your existing skills and your passion. I've done this course before, I've done this work experience before, and like I'm really interested. Again, it just makes you seem like a nice human being. Those are the 4 things you need, and you don't even have to come up with those from scratch. I've got a template of the exact email. You just need to like fill in the blanks with like the company specifics, your specifics, that sort of thing. It's a template. You can follow that if you want. Link will be in the description. Okay, so now moving on to the final method. Now this method has the highest success rate. This is actually the best method for getting in-person work experience. What comes with it is it's like a time commitment to like make this happen. It's like probably a money commitment to make this happen, and it like requires a lot of confidence. So this one's quite like a difficult method to pull off. Then it requires a lot of effort. But likely if you're actually watching this video and you've got this far into the video, how to get in-person work experience, you're probably quite an ambitious and hard-working individual. So I think this method would be a very useful one for you to try. It has a really high success rate. This one for me has a 100% success rate. When I've tried this, I've been offered work experience, and this is through in-person networking. So the way this works is you go to an event and there'll usually be like an employer talking. So someone who works for a company, right? They're going to be giving a talk, or they're going to be at a stand or something. You go up to them, you have a conversation with them, and then you get work experience from that. Okay, so this is how it works. You'll attend this talk, listen to the whole thing, right? So it could be like a 30-minute talk. At the end, when everyone else is leaving, you go up to them, start a conversation with them, start asking questions. So ask questions about things they said in their presentation. Ask them like extra questions about the industry they're in, what they do, okay? Best case scenario, they are going to offer you work experience, okay? Because it's the same as I said before. There are 2 reasons that employers give people work experience, okay? Like actual reasons, like, oh yeah, we want to help society, like they don't care. Okay, there's 2 actual reasons, because either one, they want to hire a work experience student. It's basically like a funnel. If they can funnel someone to work experience, they can funnel someone to like an apprenticeship and a real job, basically. They want work experience either 1 to hire, or number 2 just to at least like, so they can just like have a pleasant time, right? They don't have someone obnoxious, as I explained in the last one. If you seem like a really passionate, interested, intelligent, confident, like skilled individual, they are probably going to just give you the work experience on the spot. This is how it worked for me. The 2 people I've gone up to doing in-person networking, I didn't even ask for work experience. Okay, to be honest, it wasn't even on my mind. I wasn't even there to get work experience. I was there genuinely to hear the presentation from these employers, to ask them genuine questions and get genuine answers, because I genuinely wanted to know. Mid-conversation, with these 2 different conversations I had, they offered me work experience. Because straight away, they're there thinking, I need to hire 2 apprentices next year, in September. I want a good apprentice. This guy is very intelligent, very interested. This guy, he's speaking really well, he's communicating really well with me, he's like got really good questions, he's switched on, he's noticed these things. If this guy was my apprentice, I would be extremely happy. So you know what? How about I give him work experience, we show him what the working world's like. If he really enjoys this, he's going to apply for my apprenticeship, I'm going to give him the job. I've just secured myself a really good apprentice. Okay, that's how it works. So best case scenario, you're in this conversation, they're just going to offer you work experience. They're going to say, oh, would you be interested in doing some work experience? That's something we offer. Yes, please, mate. Okay? And even if they don't, it just means you ask and you're in a really good position. Okay, so you go through your questions, you have the conversation, you're like, oh, by the way, I was really interested in doing work experience. Is that something that your company does? Their perception of you, their impression of you is super high. They think you're really intelligent, really nice. They're like happy that you're the one person who's gone up to them and asked them questions. Like you've had the confidence to. Everyone else, maybe there were a couple of people who wanted to. They left and walked away because they were too scared. They're missing out on work experience because they were too scared. They could be missing out on an apprenticeship because they're too scared. My in-person work experience got me my apprenticeships. 100%. If I had have walked out the building at the end of the talk and hadn't got the work experience, I don't even think I'd be in the apprenticeships. I'm in. Like, I wouldn't even have got the offers I got. Okay, that's how valuable it is. They're literally, the people who leave are missing out. You're there, therefore this employer person really likes you. Okay, so you have this conversation, ask them at the end, do you have any work experience opportunities which are available at your company? I'll be really interested in like coming on site and having a look at how like a civil engineering project works, because I'm interested in doing a civil engineering degree apprenticeship. So that's the sort of work experience I want to have to like see how it works, get a bit of knowledge before I start the apprenticeship. And chances are they're just going to give you it. Okay, this is the most effective method. Yes, it's a lot of effort because you have to travel to these events and like cost fuel or something. And it like requires confidence in going up and speaking to a new person. But it's like, if you want the in-person work experience, if you want the degree apprenticeship that the work experience is going to lead to, then it's got to be done. Okay, let me give you the actionable step on how you can like sit on this roadmap, because obviously like, you can't just leave the house right now and go to an event. You need to know what to go to and all that sort of thing. Okay, so the actionable step right now is to search industry event in Google, industry event, and then your city. So like industry event London, right? Or industry event Manchester, right? Or industry event Birmingham, something like that. Whatever your city is, industry event, search the city. Then you're looking for an industry event which is early careers focused, okay? Because you don't want to find an industry event which is like some professional thing like for the institution of like mechanical engineers, and it's like the ones that like have £100 tickets and usually the company pays for it, because that's to do with like professionals networking, like 50-year-olds networking and directors networking. You're looking for something that's specifically early careers related. So if there's some sort of like STEM event going on in your city on this day, like the kind of things schools would go to, they have stands, they have companies, you go up to these stands. That's the other way of doing it. So one's where a presentation is given by the employee, you go up to them afterward. Another one is where there's just a stand, you just cut out the presentation bit, you go up to the stand, ask them questions, and then either they'll give you work experience or you ask for work experience and then see what they say. Those sort of events. Now the other one, this one's underrated as well, this one's actually quite a dark horse, is university open days. Okay, because obviously university, but degree apprenticeships, you've got to remember there's the degree part of it. Degree apprenticeships are still affiliated with universities. So I want you to search like university open days, maybe some you're already going to, or like any in your area that you could go to. Have a look and see if they're doing any degree apprenticeship talks. Because if that university does degree apprenticeships, likely they're going to do a degree apprenticeship talk. What happened with this scenario I'm talking about where I did the in-person networking. I was at the degree apprenticeship talk at a university open day. They had 2 employers there who were giving talks. I went up to those 2 employers, had a talk to both of them offered me work experience. Okay, so that's your actionable step right there. Industry events in your city, or like search university open days near you, look for the timetable, see if there's any apprenticeship talks, because potentially they'll be like bringing employers there just as like a sort of case study. Extra bonus tip here is when you go and do this in-person networking, actually talk to them, ask for their contact details. So what I did, both these people offered me work experience, right? And I was like, yep, would definitely love that. Ended the conversation, left. I got home, remembered, I have absolutely no way of contacting these 2 people. They've given me work experience. I don't even know who they are. So I was like flicking through my notes. Luckily, I'd written notes of like what the person had said their names were. But obviously it was like completely wrong spelling. So I was Googling for about 2 weeks to find like these people. Like I was Googling all different spellings of their name. Like one of these names has like 5 variations of spelling. I was doing everything I could remember to try and find them, searched on LinkedIn, searched on Google. One of them I eventually found after about a week. The other one I never found, and I never could even like pick up that work experience again. I can never like redeem the offer, redeem the voucher, you know what I mean? Because I just couldn't find them. The other one, luckily I did, and that was the work experience that got me the apprenticeships. So basically, when you're doing this in-person networking, remember to activate email address or LinkedIn or something like that. So those are the 3 methods you can use to get in-person work experience. I hope that's helped you. You can now have a look through those methods. Which one do you think is going to work best? It will depend on the company. So if it's a big company, it'll probably be like the 1st or 3rd. And if it's a small company, it'll probably be the 2nd or 3rd, maybe even just the 2nd. So like have a look through those methods. Which one's going to be more appropriate for you? And then the actionable steps which I've gone through in this video, make sure you apply those, and that's going to give you the best chance of getting in-person work experience. Just another one, like well done for going through this video and actually putting in the effort, because a lot of people don't bother with in-person work experience because you can do virtual. Virtual is a lot easier, but in-person work experience is going to give you extra benefits that virtual doesn't. In-person is that just a bit better and it's worth it. So putting the extra effort in, what you're doing right now, is definitely worth it for the benefits you're going to get from the in-person work experience. If you got any value from this video, I'd appreciate if you just leave a like on the video so that I know that these sort of videos help. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.